We'll move on to the next exciting part of the event that some of you have been looking forward to. We have the fantastic Shukeel here with us, who's doing a book review. So some of you may know him from some of the Birmingham events if you've been there. He's travelled out to Warsaw, especially for today.
My passport was valid.
So do tell us a little about yourself and then carry on with your book review.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Shukeel Chohan. I spent, by the way, we're on holy ground here. We're on a church. So if you don't like what I say, you can't boo, you can't hiss, you can't swear at me, no cursing. I'm protected today, by God. Hallelujah. Now, I'm Shukeel Chohan. I've been 23 years in financial services sales. So I don't like to sort of flower things up. I'm a salesman. That's what I've been doing for 23 years. Some people sort of forget what they are and they like to become consultants and managers and etc., and they've got letters after their names. But the reality is, all of us are salespeople. Now, we are all salespeople. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're working for yourself or you work for somebody else, you're a salesperson, and you've been selling all your life as well. Now, I want to do a talk about somebody who I came across. I know I don't look it, but I came across Jim Rohn 30 years ago when I was just a teenager. And I was still at college, and I was dragged along to a network marketing meeting. It was Herbalife, and I just joined on a Friday. My friend showed me a video and said, "You've got to get into this." And there was all these people earning so much money. And then the next morning, he said, "Right, tomorrow morning we're going to Windsor. Be ready at 7 o'clock in the morning." And I thought, "Whoa, okay, this is quick." So we drove to Windsor, and I met Jim Rohn in an auditorium with, I don't know, like 1,000 people. And this guy, I had no idea what personal development was, what sales was. This guy was out of this world. I thought, first of all, what's this old man going to talk about? You know, I was a teenager. And this guy was on fire. And that was my first experience in personal development. I thought, this is absolutely amazing. It had an impact on me from then, and it made me sort of get into, at a later point, a sales career, and it got me interested in personal development. And it was just an amazing experience. So I chose to, having met him, I chose to do his book review. Sadly, he's passed away now. I think it's been about 6 or 7 years. He's no longer with us. Now, I've sort of looked at some of the videos, and it's actually acceptable for people to have notes. So I'm going to use some notes as well to speak from as well, because I can't remember all a couple of hundred pages. Now, the book is 4 hours to read, so I'm just going to try and condense it into 2 hours for you all, yeah?
Yep.
Is that okay? All right, okay. What Jim Rohn has said is make your life a work of art. Okay. What he means by that is you don't have to be exceptionally successful at anything. And today there are some exceptionally successful people in here. And there are some people who are just starting out, and there are people somewhere in between as well. Okay. And he just said, just do ordinary, everyday things exceptionally well. If you just do the everyday things exceptionally well, guess what? You'll actually have a better chance of doing well in your life, and something will come out of it. Okay. And that is the art of exceptional living. Okay. Right. Now, he basically talks about he talks about business philosophy. Jim Rohn's style is very, very different from other speakers. He was the granddaddy. He was, one of the early pioneers. He was actually the mentor for Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins used to work for him, and today Anthony Robbins is probably one of the greatest speakers on the stage at the moment. I mean, I know others claim to be as well. Okay. And basically, it's about your philosophy. It's not about trying to work to somebody else's rule book. It's about what your personal philosophies of life and business are, and doing the best that you can do with your own business philosophies. Okay. Now, right. What Jim Rohn, Jim, he's not my friend. Okay. He said, don't blame others. Okay. So what happens? What do people do? We blame what? We blame the weather.
Circumstances.
I couldn't make it because the government policy was no good. Taxes were too high. You know, bloody politicians won't let me get on with my business or my life. Okay. What Jim Rohn is saying is take control of your life. Don't blame others. You know, it's up to you. So don't blame the situation. Take control. Adopt your adopt your personal philosophy. It's your philosophy, nobody else's. So you must take control of your situation. Okay. Work out on how to be the best and use what you've got. There's no point moping about what we haven't got. Use what we have got and basically take advantage of the blessings that we do have. Yeah? Now, this basically, what you should do is you should study. I don't mean study, academic study. I'm talking about study of life. So take notes in meetings. There are people in front of me here today. There are some exceptionally successful people, and they're the ones taking notes, you know, or they're on the track to be successful. And there's a huge difference between the people who sit and listen and the people who take notes. They write something down. They may not see the value of what they've seen right now. It may come to them at a later point. Okay. I spend about sort of 30 minutes to an hour every day now, sort of either reading something or listening to something. Something inspirational, something motivational. So I'm always trying to do some learning so that I've got continuous development. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm not successful. From the scale of 0 to 10, I'm somewhere still at the bottom. So I have to learn and develop. And I know that I've sat alongside very successful people, and they're following the principles that Jim Rohn talks about, which is continuous learning and continuous development. Okay. There's one of his quotes is, "Leaders are readers." However, nowadays you can do audio listening as well, yeah? So that one doesn't rhyme. Okay. What Jim Rohn said was, you can miss a meal, but don't miss a book. Okay. Do some study every day. Okay. Now, books and reading. Now we can talk about audio as well. Yeah. These are our gold mine. We have to go to the books. We have to do the study. We have to make time and get out there and do something ourselves. Okay? And the best money that you can spend really is the money that you spend on your own development and education. Yeah, there is nothing more than that. You know, we've had people here talk about, come and learn from us. You really need to do it. And I know when I've gone to events, there are people there who are already successful, and you sometimes think, the guy's turned up in a Ferrari or a Rolls Royce. What is he doing here? That's why he's there, because he's already achieved that level of success. And he probably wants to maintain that level of success. Okay. Now, personal development, right? It's not about, and Jim Rohn he was the number one guy in personal development. Okay. He said it's not about what happens to you that determines the major part of your future. It's what you do about it. Just understand that it's what you do, it's how you react, is what makes you. Okay, right. So we will have setbacks. We will have who's had problems in their business? Who's ever had a business fail? You've had businesses fail, and you're successful, and you're still going. So you had setbacks. You didn't let the setbacks control you, hold you back. Blame the weather. Blame the government. Blame the taxes. Okay, you continued. Failures are really just a lesson in learning. There isn't really. It's not a failure. It's just part of the test, isn't it? It really depends on how you see things. Okay, Jim Rohn talks about in his book. He talks about in his philosophies. Okay, he talks about value, and he said we get paid for the value that we bring to the marketplace. Yeah. We don't get paid for our time. What we earn is based on the value that we bring to somebody's personal life or to their business. Okay, that's a very, very different thing. You often hear about people talk about, I charge for my time, I pay for, you're paying for my time. No, people are paying you for the value you bring to them, what difference you make to them. Okay, Try to be the person that brings and makes a difference to people. Okay, because there's plenty of people with plenty of time to sell. Okay, and so basically what you're trying to do is you are trying to increase your value. So you want to be able to get more value for the time that you give. Make your time more valuable. Okay. So what you have to do is work harder on developing yourselves than the job that you do. Work harder on developing yourself, not the job that you do. If you work hard on developing yourself, the job will sort of plan out anyway. Okay. In Jim Rohn's book, he talks about 4 major lessons in life. Okay, and the first the first title that he discusses is learn how to handle the winters. Disappointment always comes after opportunity. Okay, so recessions come after expansion. We've seen the cycles. It all came up. Everybody's making money. It was too easy to make money. And then what happened? The market busted, it crashed. There were 2 types of people. There were people who saw the opportunities and were able to weather it out. And there were those people who cried and it was all over and their life had finished. And some of them committed suicide or whatever, or they're down and out on the street. Okay. So what you have to do is you work on yourself to become better, stronger, and wiser. Okay. Now, the next, don't waste your time. Actually, you said this as well. Don't waste your time wishing that things were easier. Wish that you were better. Wish that you were stronger. Wish that you have the skills to deal with adversity and the problems that arise. These are the things that he talks about. His philosophies are very, very different. I can't stress enough, you should really, he's got about 20 plus books that he's written. So you could really spend the next few years reading his books. And the philosophies that he talks about are absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so wish that you have more skill to deal with the problem rather than crying about the problem that you've just been hit with. Okay, see, it's all about mindset, frame of mind. Okay, the next lesson that he gives is learn how to take advantage of spring. Okay, take advantage of opportunities. When opportunities arise, there's always 2 types of people. People who see opportunities and they deal with them, and people who see opportunities and they don't see them and they walk past them. Okay, then they complain later. Okay, you'll either become, this is a quote from Jim, yeah? He says you'll either become good at planting in spring or you'll become good at begging in the fall. Yeah, fall is an American word for autumn, when you should be reaping what you sow. So if you don't sow correctly in the first place, if you don't plant your seeds properly, if you don't water your soil, if you don't develop and build your foundations correctly in the first place, when the time to sow, when the time to reap what you sow, you'll be out there at the bank saying, Mr. Bank Manager, can you please help me? Okay, who's been there? Yeah? Okay, yeah, I mean many people have, but it doesn't matter if you've been there. What matters is what we do about it. What I said earlier, it's about how you react to situations and adversity. Okay. Whoops. This is getting good, isn't it? Okay. Confetti. We're at a church after all, aren't we? Wedding going on. That's my excuse.
You sound right.
Okay. Now, the next lesson was learn how to nourish and take care of your crops all summer. Now, I know we're not farmers. Actually, do we have any farmers? Okay. Now, learn how to defend and protect the good that you've done and created. Okay. Because there will always be people, and learn how to defend the values that you have, the good that you've done. Okay. Because there will always be people who will put you down, they will damage your values, or they will damage your business, intentionally or unintentionally. But you've worked hard for it. So protect, what he says, protect the summer, means protect your business and protect the hard works and the efforts that you've put into your business, okay, or into your life. Because not everybody's a business owner here. Okay. His 4th lesson is learn how to reap in the autumn, in the fall, he says, without complaint. Okay, take responsibility for your life. Okay, earlier I said, if it's going to happen, it's your fault. If you're successful, it's your fault. If you're a failure, it's your fault. It's nobody else's fault. If you have done well in life, it's your fault. Yeah. And you're looking puzzled now. Why is it your fault when you're successful? Yeah, you're responsible. It's your fault. Okay. So, it's how you look at things. It's back to his business philosophy. Okay. Now, fourth one, learn to respond. Let your emotions be touched and learn how to feel. Take action from the heart. People who are genuine and have sincere commitment to what they're doing or what they want to achieve, it comes from the heart, doesn't it? Has anybody ever achieved anything without really committing anything to their heart and their mind? Did it happen for anybody? No? You have to plan it out and really have a set goal on this issue. Okay. Now, right. There's further lessons, right, is develop the ability to reflect. This is what a lot of people don't do, which I think somebody who mentioned earlier, people come to seminars, they come to networking events, and that's it, they've gone. They've been there, they've done that, they've had some coffees, changed some business cards, and that's the end of it until the next event. So what we're doing is we're becoming good networkers, okay, but we're not actually creating anything out of it. So what Jim Rohn says is develop the ability to reflect. Learn from your notes. That's why it's always a good idea to take notes. I know I'm not that good a speaker, so I'm not saying anything particularly good, but when you're in front of really, really good speakers, you need to take notes on what they're saying, because these people have pearls of wisdom that will maybe go in one ear and out the other, but when you write things down, it helps you learn and retain the information that's being shared with you as well. Okay. And what you have to do is you have to learn from the past, and you have to reflect on a daily basis what you've done, on a weekly, on a monthly basis. And it's a hard thing to do, but if you do some reflection, some self-reflection, it helps you realize what I've done in the past, and it helps you sort of move forward. And Jim Rohn goes into a lot of detail I'm not going to do 2 hours, so don't worry. Okay. So I won't go into the detail of how he does that. Yeah. Now, don't just remember what happened. Remember the emotions. How did you feel? Who's done something absolutely fantastic? And when you want inspiration, what do? You think back, you look back, and it reminds you. You've had conversations when you've done that. Yeah, do that. This is a thing that gives you strength and energy. It doesn't matter, people talk about past glories. Yeah, past glories are very important. Remember those. Those are the things that move you forward, because you have to feel that emotion from here of what happened to me in the past. How did I deal with this adversity? How did I deal with this situation? Okay. Here's another lesson that he teaches in his book: the ability to act. Okay. Now, who's heard the term, something about the act when your iron is hot? On temperature 3 or something like that, yeah? Okay. Act when the iron is hot, right? And sharp creases and all that. Okay. Act quickly, but not hastily. Okay. Many a mistake is made in haste. Okay. But don't waste time. So if an opportunity presents itself, there are always two types of people. People who see the opportunity and they do something about it, and people who see the opportunity and they think about it. Okay, so act on the opportunity, but don't act in haste. Okay, if you don't act quickly, you'll experience the law of diminishing intent. So what that means is, if I don't do something today and I'm thinking, okay, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow. Guess what? You know when tomorrow comes? Does tomorrow come? Tomorrow never comes, does it? Okay. So you understand the concept of the diminishing intent. Yeah. The longer you leave something, the less likely it is that you're actually going to have the ability to move forward and act on something. Okay. So strike while the iron is hot. Okay. one of his other lessons is the ability to share, which is perhaps, hopefully, what I'm trying to do here today. Okay, share your knowledge, share the advice, share your books. Although I've often been told, don't share your books. I've never got any of my books back. Okay. So, I had a really good collection of books. Now I don't have much of a collection at all, because when you give them out to people, in my experience, they don't value that, and they then pass it on to somebody else, or it goes in a hidden, it stays in the boot in their car. No. It basically, what it does when you share information and knowledge, it frees up more space in your brain to put more knowledge in. So the more I love to share, and I love to talk to people and say, share my good experiences and the bad ones even sometimes. But I love to share the knowledge, because what it does, it makes me a sponge to absorb more knowledge, and it expands my mind. So what it also does is, that glass, the one that's half full, it makes that glass bigger, so you can put more knowledge into it. Okay. Now, let me tell you his next lesson. Okay. Now, in summary, do all of the things, all of the lessons I've just talked about, the pointers, do them all. If you leave one of them out, you'll have an imbalance. So life is about balance, and it's about a philosophy of balance. So do all of them. Keep your notes, do your journal, reflect, take notes, okay, read and listen to the audios, and basically practice. Right. Good habits convert opportunities into equity. Yeah. So if you develop these good habits, these things will come back to you, and it will come back. There's a law of tenfold return, and I believe that. Whatever you do and you put out, it comes back tenfold return. Okay. Are we short on time, or are we okay?
Just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, okay, right. Now, I did say it was a 4-hour read, that was. Okay. Now, basically, let me try and shorten this down a little bit for you. Okay.
Shukeel's cards will be available later if anyone wants to read the full pack.
I won't be long. Okay. Right. Earlier on, I touched on that. Don't pray. You've got to have hopes and wishes as well. So don't wish things that were easier. Wish that you were better and stronger. Okay. And if you keep doing what you've always done before, what will happen? You'll always get the same result. You've got to do something different. So if there's one thing that I might have been inspired to do today, is do something different. Change your habit, and you'll get a pleasant surprise. You'll develop a habit, you'll change your result. Okay. Let me leave you with something, yeah? The journey towards a good life begins with a serious commitment to changing any aspect of our current philosophy that has the capacity to come between us and our dreams.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.